My name is Dan McKnight, and I'm from Eagle, Idaho, and I'm the president and founder of Red Folder Research. We do legal research for personal injury attorneys. We have a very niche product. We just investigate insurance policies. That's it. Coming into this experience, I have maybe a little more background than some of the people here. I've been doing the work for about 3 months already with Anese and Active Choices. But my biggest challenge was, how do I multiply this? How do I take it to the next step? And I've had tremendous improvement in my own personal communication and leadership with my team. But my wife is my business partner. And so we are together all the time, and we just weren't aligned. And I really encouraged her to come down to this immersion therapy so that she could start doing the work. Not as a way for her to improve, but as a way for us to improve our communication together. So that was my biggest obstacle, was how do I 10x this thing to everybody in my life, because I find so much value in it. My perspective was maybe a little jaded because I knew what it was about. I knew what I was going to gain from it coming in, but I think my perspective actually shifted a little bit because I'm recognizing there's even more that I need to be doing to make my own presence contagious. Contagions in society can be positive or negative. And if I'm not doing the things I've practiced using IEP in Active Choices, the contagion effect is always multiplied 10x the wrong direction. And so my perspective has shifted a little more, that this is less about others, it's more about me again. It's the internal focus, and all the leadership courses and management and business classes and seminars you can take always focus on process. They never focus on the person. And this is the one place I've found where you really get to focus on yourself and what maybe you're doing to contribute to the issues that your company has. I think we are on that exponential growth curve as a company, and we are pushing leaders into the company faster than we can get them trained up. And I think having this type of experience, or this type of a tool that we can use to implement the onboarding process and teach our employees how to communicate and how to own their presence, and that the power that they bring to is an institutional knowledge, but it's their presence in the meetings in the production field. I think that's going to be the best way that we can use it. And I just feel like if we can take that back and really just put this into a condensed version where we can expand it into our company and then demonstrate it through our own leadership, I think we'll see the best multiplying effect. I am really actually excited about going back and co-designing agreements with my spouse, agreements with my children, agreements in the leadership room with the leadership team, with department managers, co-designing these agreements so that we know what to expect from each other and what we expect from each other. And I think that clarity will help eliminate rework, ambiguity, confusion, a feeling of selflessness. I'm really excited about it, and I think I've got more notes on that one activity than anything else so far. I come from a military background. Most of my friends are veterans or are currently serving, kind of that alpha hard exterior. And in the military, your authority comes from your rank, right? And in business and outside the military, your authority comes from your presence and the way you engage with people. And so I would highly recommend that, especially people transitioning out of the military, this is a skill that is not taught. It's just not part of the military curriculum. And I think if I would have had this when I left the military 12, 14, 15 years ago, it would have made the transition to the civilian world much easier. So I would highly recommend it. But talking about feelings and interpersonal change and owning responsibility and clear communication is not something that's done in a military setting. It's just not. You know, we rely on strict, direct orders, and the orders are followed based on that rank structure. But I think you can actually be a better leader if you can get people to follow you willingly because of the way your presence is with them and the way you show up and the way your energy is with them. That I think it'd be one of those situations where people would be willing to run through walls for you, but as a leader, you never ask them to. And this is just really kind of emphasized for me coming to this workshop. This is different from other leadership exercises, curriculum, seminars that I've done. They've always focused on the structure of the business, the structure, the tools that you would use to run the business, to make in efficiency, how do you communicate. This one's different because this is about the middle of the business. It's about the core of the business, the way we communicate inside of it. And as the owner and visionary of my company, there is nothing more valuable to the company than the way I show up in my presence with my employees, because I can sell the vision, I can order them to follow the rules, but until they feel like they are a stakeholder in the business, a true stakeholder, by being a member of a collaboration team or something that's being heard, there's just no way really to maximize that potential. And so that's different than any other leadership or business seminar I've ever been a part of. This is actually focused on me, the individual, on each of the individuals that are here. You can read 1,000 books, you can go to 1,000 different business seminars, And if you're missing the one piece that provides value to your employees, that is a contagion of sorts where you can show up and multiply the benefits of everything else you've learned just by being there in the right energy. There's nothing else that's being taught like that. And I find it to be the most valuable thing, and I'm willing to pay the price of time and resources and effort just to be here because of the multiplying effect that it has. Short answer is get off the fence, right? Either make the decision to do it or keep living with what you've got. And as somebody who went through the first 6 years of growth in my business and hit that exponential growth curve, I got to a place where I had to do something because everything we were doing was missing a piece. Turnover was starting to happen with employees. Employee satisfaction was low. My hours worked per week was, encroaching on 100 hours every single week, week after week. I had to do something. And anybody that's questioning their leadership or wanting to improve their leadership, I would say just do it. Get off the fence, give them a little push, and without the self-centered, look at me, look how well it's worked for me, I would encourage them based on what their strengths and needs are.